Hello, welcome back to I Am Forever Faithful. My name is Jackie, and I am here to give my take on religion, my own personal experience. But first, let me give you a little bit of background where I grew up in a Baptist church for about 30 years, and this is a church that my family had been members of for generations. It was actually the oldest church in that county. So it was just commonplace that every Sunday you'd be at church, and during the summer times when there was the revivals, that we would be there every night. And as a child, you don't have much say, so you just get dressed and go. But in my particular church, there wasn't a children's department or lessons to learn about the Bible for children. So the children sat with the adults listening, right? But I didn't understand. Anyway, so as I grew up, I had more and more questions, and I became a teenager, and I decided to ask some elders in the church some questions that I had, particularly about, Jesus. You say he was a man of flesh walking this earth, helping and healing people. You say that God sent him down here to save us, and that we are not to put anyone before God. We are not to idol man. We are not to idol anything. But yet I constantly hear praise Jesus, praise Jesus. And I also recall hearing, that Jesus performed miracles, but no one ever talked about, us or me performing a miracle. Because from my understanding, Jesus said that, these things he does that we can do and do it much better. We are just as powerful as he was, right? So, but no one ever really talked about that either. There was a lot of things in the Bible that I question, and even still to this day, I question. But, I had friends and I knew others who were of other denominations, and I've been to the Catholic Church, Seventh-day Adventist, Protestant, even non-denominational. Even when I went to the non-denominational church, I probably felt the most comfortable there, most at ease. It felt, or it resonated with my soul, my spirit. And I like that because it wasn't, preaching from a religious book. The basis was just love, treating others as you would want to be treated. And that's pretty much the gist, I think, of religion, all of them. It really just comes back to love, loving yourself and loving others. And everything else is, I don't know, in a sense, mute in my eyes. I just think that's just the bottom line. I think that religion, I can, well, I think that religion really keeps us stuck, pigeonholed, cramped, trapped in a sense. And that's the way I felt. I was going to church because that's what I've been told and taught to do. But yet all around me, I didn't necessarily see things getting any better. I'm like, all these years we're going to church. Why aren't anyone why aren't things better? Why aren't people better or have improved? If there's alcoholics in the family, why aren't they any better? If there is homelessness and sickness, well, why aren't they better? I just felt like the church would only discuss certain things, certain topics, and stay away from other things. I just, in general, find, the church or religion, church, to be, a little hypocritical. I saw so much of that in the church, and I actually thought, well, these people inside this church are no better than the people outside the church. So I've heard, seen, witnessed, members of the church talking ill of other members. I've even seen church members speak to me, but not my mother, who stands right beside me. I've seen very rude, cruel behavior right there on the church grounds. So I think probably in my late 20s, I decided to get away from the church. I was seriously considering it, but I was truly torn on the inside, internally, because it was definitely going against the grain. Even though I was out on my own, had my own place or whatever, it was still something that was unspoken, that you will be at church on Sunday. But I knew that I had to stop or make a change when I went. This one time I went partying on Saturday night, and then I got up Sunday morning. Didn't want to, because I had just got in a few hours earlier. But I went to church anyway, reluctantly, but I did it. So I'm sitting in church, and it's, the pastor is preaching, whatever, and I am sitting there burping, but I'm actually burping the alcohol I had the night before, hours before, and I thought, this is so wrong. What am I doing? I was torn. So shortly after there, I left the church for good. I just felt like I am being shamed in some sense by certain church members because I chose to wear pants when it's cold. And I just really thought that, if you're paying that much attention to me and what I'm wearing, then you're not really here for God, right? For the divine creator, for the sermon, for the word. I just felt like too much attention was brought, being focused on what I was wearing. And I just felt like there was a bunch of hypocrites, and that these people were blind. They were blind. They couldn't answer any of what I thought was easy questions, but come to find out they were hard questions, challenging questions for them to answer. And for them to actually have to think about the question I asked, what caused them to unravel this thread that they had woven so tightly that it would disrupt their life. I was told, don't question God, don't question God. Well, I'm not questioning God. I am questioning you, an elder, a member of this church. But no one really ever gave me an answer. So I felt that it was best that I left the church and seek God, divine creator, on my own, and see what happened. See what would actually happen. And what happened was I had more time to talk to the divine creator. I had more time to sort through my own thoughts versus the thoughts that were implanted in me as a child, as this is what we do. And even being in the church for so long, my soul became restless. I didn't really feel like I was being fed. I would leave church hungry, still frustrated, still sad. Um, all those negative emotions. And I just felt like, what am I doing? What am I really doing? Why am I getting up every Sunday and I don't want to? So there was this internal battle, really, from what I had been told and taught versus what my soul, my spirit, my heart, my instinct was telling me. And I had to just walk out of the church and to cultivate a relationship with God on my own. And honestly, that was the best decision I made for myself, because my relationship with the divine creator is stronger now than it has ever been. I became closer. I leaned more on the divine for guidance and answers. And I began to trust my instincts more, what I was sensing about people, places, things, situations. Didn't even matter. I became very intuitive, because in the church I just felt shamed, or like I wasn't good enough, or like I should constantly try to be perfect, which I just felt that's impossible by those standards. So I had to be realistic with myself about what it was that I wanted for my life, in my life, and how I could get it. And that was truly by cultivating a relationship with the divine creator. Overall, I think religion is restricting. And many people have done awful things in the name of religion. And for me, it's just, when it comes to religion, I said man has a part in it. These words, these stories may or may not be of God, of the divine creator. But anytime man has his hand on something, he usually taints it somehow, some way. And I always question why there were books burned, why certain books in the Bible were omitted, and that in itself is a red flag to me. Because if these are holy words, divine words, right? Then why would you leave some out? Why would you burn some? What's up with that? So that's why I question almost everything with religion. And I just think of my ancestors from hundreds of thousands of years ago, even before these books, right? Before these religious books. Like they had to have a one-on-one relationship with the divine. There was no books for guidance, right? And I think many idol these books, religious books. And from my understanding, you're not supposed to idol anything. Anyway, that's just my take on religion. And I personally don't necessarily need or require a book to guide my life. I trust and lean on the divine creator for everything, for all answers, because man has tainted so much of the truth that it's hard to decipher what is truth and what is not. So, I don't want to lean on my own understanding or others' understanding. I want the divine understanding. And I have nothing against those who choose to go to church or choose to read a religious book or anything like that. That's your journey, that's your path. And I'm not even saying that there isn't some truth in these books. But, I question everything. And because of the supernatural experiences that I have had since childhood, I know that your thoughts are powerful, your words are powerful, and you can create life or death through your tongue. And you can create life or death through your thoughts as well. Anyway, thank you for stopping by. I am forever faithful. This is Jackie, and I hope to see you again soon. Take care. Bye.